I hope everyone can see my screen. And like Vyomika said, we are going to be discussing 7 winning steps of how to start a supermarket. So this webinar is presented to you by Genesis. It's one of the leading retail softwares of the country, and not only the country, across the globe. And I represent a firm called Your Retail Coach, which is a retail consulting company. So just to give you a brief understanding, I mean, how many of y'all, I would like to just understand how many of y'all are planning to start a supermarket. If you're planning, you can write P in the chat box. And if you already have a supermarket, you can write an H in the chat box. Because based on that, we will have, okay. Okay, so I think most of the participants here are planning to start a supermarket. Great, amazing. So we are still waiting for a few more responses. I think let's make this webinar more interesting by participating both ways. Otherwise, it's great. So most of our participants are planning to start a supermarket. Wonderful. And I'm sure in this 1 hour, we are trying to enrich you with all the information that you would be required, what that would be required for starting a supermarket. So once again, we welcome you to the 7 winning steps of how to start a supermarket. These are the 7 steps majorly. We start with a business model. I hope everyone can see my screen. We start with the business model, then we move on to the product category finalization, then we move on to developing the organization structure, then we move on to the development of SOPs, layout planning, IT integration, and lastly, the SOP trainings. One of the reports that we had come across, that was by Goldman Sachs, that India's e-commerce business is expected to reach $99 billion by 2024. And when we talk about specifically grocery business, today we are growing at 27% CAGR, and it is predicted to grow at an exponential rate of 20 times, and it is expected to reach 29 billion by 2024. So these were just some stats. Now we start with the business model development. So when I say business model, typically this is about all the financial or the numbers in the business. So it starts from the capital investment, the operating costs, the break-even sale. Just give me a moment.
It's a pop question. Does anyone know like where the first supermarket was started? Or which one was it? If you know, you can just put out the answer in the chat button.
I'm sorry for that.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll give out the answers at the end. Okay. Yeah.
If anybody knows that, please put it in the chat box. It's a wonderful question.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Rohit. Yes, so we were at business model development. So when we say business model, it typically includes all the number crunching part of the business. It starts with the capital investment, which means what is your interior cost going to be, what are your racking costs going to be, what kind of budgets you should be having for your software, for your hardware. All of this is going to be a part of your capital investment. And then we move on to the operating costs, that, what are your rentals, what are your salaries, and what are the other electricity, Wi-Fi, telephone, your marketing expense, which is going to be a recurring cost. So we can analyze all of these. And based on this, we come up with a number saying that these are the rentals that are going to be most affordable for the business, which is extremely important. Even when you are starting off your own business, please ensure that you make this. Starting a business without a business model is like playing a dart game in dark. You're sure to fail. So, it's great if you can have a complete roadmap of your business, at least for the next 5 years, planned beforehand, and the complete sale projections for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, to understand that what the entire scenario looks like. In most cases, because supermarket, as we all know, the margins are not very high. Let me tell you, the supermarket, if you talk about branded products, the margins are not very high. Now, what you can do to increase your margin, that is a separate question. But when we talk about, getting the ROI of the business, we should be sure that, these rentals are going to get me an ROI in the next 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. So you need to be sure about the kind of investments that you're planning to make in terms of your capital, your operating costs. And based on that, we also need to plan the complete marketing budget. So most businesses, consider this as a very, they neglect this part of the business, which is your recurring marketing budget, which also is a very, very important part of the business, because that's how you're going to get your new customers. So since you're new in the market, you have to allocate good amount of budget for opening, for marketing, and do account for it in the entire business model. So the first step, like I said, the business model development. Once again, like to give you just an idea about, the scalability of the business. So for all those people who are planning to start a supermarket, I would like to press on the fact that starting one supermarket may not get you as much as profit or as much as ROI or faster ROI or better margins. You will definitely have to look at multiple supermarkets. That's how your purchasing power increases. You will also have to look out for a chain to ensure that your operating costs reduce and your margins increase. So that's our first step towards developing the complete business model. We move on to the next step, that is your product category finalization. Again, a crucial step in the business. Which category of products should you be keeping in your supermarket? Now, this depends on, of course, the size of the supermarket. You're planning to start 1,000 square feet or a 3,000 or a 5,000 or a 15,000. The complete gamut of products that you're going to be keeping will depend on the size. It will also depend on the demands of the customers of the locality where you live. A lot of people come to us saying that, you do a market research and you give us a list of products that we should keep in our supermarket. I would like to stress on the fact that if you are staying in that location, you have been there for a very long time, this information should very well come from your end, that what is missing in your location, and that's why you want to start a supermarket. So, instead of spending too much on your market research, I think the focus should be more on defining the customer demands based on your instincts and based on, since you have been living in that area for a very long time. Now, when it comes to product category list, it should be a combination of course, food and non-food. Food generally has lower margins, non-food has higher margins. Again, it should be a very, very good combination of branded products as well as loose products. So with loose, what I mean is maybe you can come up with your own brand because that's where your maximum margins are going to come from. So product category list definitely will help you in defining how much of investment is going to be incurred in the entire inventory, and also the kind of margins that you are going to be getting. Now the third step, which is called the organization structure. So we've tried to, summarize the entire supermarket setup services into 7 different phases. And when it comes to, the third step, which is called the organization structure, again, it is a much neglected kind of area in any new business, where we try to understand that how many people would you be requiring, at what positions you'll be requiring them, what will be their job profiles, their KRAs, their KPIs, and also the reporting structure. So, most cases in which we have been observing is that, supermarket is always going to be your, in most cases right now, supermarket turns up to be your second line of business, or you want to diversify into supermarkets. Considering the fact that, even in these tough times, this is one business which has not, changed, or it is still going very strong, a lot of people are willing to diversify here. So the fact that you want to diversify also means that you would not be able to give full time. You cannot sit on the cash counter, because if you're sitting at the cash counter, you will never be able to expand or, grow your chain. So the most important thing is what kind of reports you should be getting from your team members on a daily, weekly, monthly basis is supposed to be coined from day one. A supermarket can, make profits only if it is managed well. It's not that we have a very different kind of product which we are going to sell like we have in other retail businesses, like we have in jewelry, like we have in furniture, like we have apparel, footwear. You might as well have a very different kind of product for which the customer comes to you. In supermarket, that's not the case. Your management is going to decide on the fact that what kind of margins are you going to make, because your management has to be extremely strong. And organization structure means the kind of people that you are going to be requiring. Hire them right from the store manager to the cashier, sales executives, your helpers, your customer care officers, your delivery boys. Let that chain be very well defined, and do define the roles and responsibilities of each person in detail to ensure that, they perform it at the best when they join in. Because in most cases, again, people who join in, they are not sure what is expected out of them, and that's where the gap starts between your expectation and their deliverables. Okay, so from organization structure, we move on to the next step, and that is designing of SOPs. SOPs are standard operating procedures. These SOPs are defined across the organization, they must be defined for all the departments, to start with your purchase, your accounts, your sales, your marketing, your HR, your IT, your inventory management, your housekeeping, your maintenance, and security. There are roughly around 13 departments to successfully run a supermarket. Who has to do what, how they have to do it, why they have to do it, and when they have to do it. That has to be extremely clear. Each and every process, right from inwarding of your goods to barcoding them, to stacking them, racking them, getting them at the store level, managing the inventories, managing your fast movers, your slow movers, managing your expiry stock, also your entire accounting system, your cash counter, right from receiving the cash to tallying the cash, because these days you receive cash from multiple wallets. It is not only card or cash, which used to be a case probably maybe around 2 years or 3 years back. Now we have a range of wallets from which you can receive cash. Apart from your Sodexo, you have Google Pay, Paytm, you also have Phone Pay, and a lot of those. So it's very important to have your processes in place, so that none of these steps are missed out and none of these processes are deviated. Also, when it comes to inventory management, it's extremely important to manage your inventories well. Inventory management is one step which again defines what margins are you going to make. So when it comes to a supermarket, it's very important to set the complete ordering cycle for yourself. There, I think even Genesis has a major role to play here, because they are going to give us the reports based on which we are going to do the purchase. Not looking at the racks, that the racks are now looking empty, we are going to purchase based on the reports. So your reports will tell you these are the minimum order quantities, and you've reached the minimum order quantity and you need to buy this product now. So your expiry stock management, your slow moving product management, your complete inventory ordering systems can be strengthened by having the right software in place and by using the software up to the maximum. Also your HR. So when we come to the HR, it again starts right from onboarding of a candidate, or I would say even before that, selection of the right candidates, onboarding them, training them, and also the complete process of entry to exit needs to be very well defined. Also the policies. In most cases, if you talk about supermarkets, the working hours are longer. They are longer than the normal retail, because supermarkets generally these days, they start early. They start from around 8, or at times I've seen supermarkets starting at 7, or I have seen certain stores running 24 hours also. So if that's the case and you've got like those licenses, you should be very sure of having those strong HR policies of your attendance policy, your time policy, your leave policy, your probation policy, your appraisal policy. Everything has to be in place from day one. Only then you will be able to retain the team and you will be able to grow faster. So your SOPs are going to define the kind of standardized working that you will be having in your supermarket. Also, when you have multiple stores, only SOPs can help you function in a standardized manner. So when a customer enters your store, be it a store which is in Pune or be it a store which is in Mumbai, the feel, the look, the complete setup, the way people talk, everything should be similar. So when we say everything should be similar, that's possible only when you have your strong SOPs. SOPs will also help you in defining your complete, customer journey, right from entry of a customer to the exit of the customer. Which are the touch points that we are going to talk to the customer? When are we going to greet the customer? What are we going to ask the customer? How are we going to assist the customer in the entire journey? That's extremely important, because like I said, supermarket has, the products are not going to be your USP here. Your USP only can be your service. And you can give optimum service only when you have strong SOPs. Also, supermarket these days, a lot of clients come to us and they ask us that, what can be our USP? Because, most of the products are available in our area also. How can we define our USPs? What can be our unique point for which the customer should come back to us? And that's where we tell them that, these days products cannot be your USP. Your only USP can be your service. So how well you serve them in terms of your in-store service, as well as your home deliveries. You have a mobile app through which you serve them. And also, I'm sure a lot of people out here would be looking out to venture into dark stores or, online grocery supermarket. So when you talk about online grocery, the only way you can, build that rapport or build service with your, deploy good service to your supermarket, to your customers, is by giving good service. So your good service is going to be extremely important when it comes to building a USP for the customers. We next move on to the next step, that is your layout planning. So be it your own store, or be it your a dark store or a back-end warehouse, layout planning is going to be extremely important. When it comes to layout planning, it is right from your entry, your exit, the flow of goods, the flow of people, the racking systems, the complete, you can say which goods have to be stored where. Now this layout planning has to be done not only for your store, but also your complete warehouse. So your warehouse will have your entry, your inward area, your micro checking area, your macro check area, then your barcoding area, then your repackaging. A lot of goods come to you in bulk form. Bulk means definitely in, big bags of 100 kgs, 200 kgs. So in that case, then you will have to, have a separate section where you have the cleaning of the products happening. And from there, you can have the complete repackaging happening if you're starting your own brand. So you need to define the complete layout in a way that you have a separate section for all this. And if you're doing dark stores or if you're doing online deliveries, your good storage have to be also very well defined. So good storage means, your heavier items have to be at the bottom. The lighter items can go up. Then your high selling items should be more accessible so that, your order turnaround time reduces. Then your, slow moving items can go slightly behind. Then your, the entire warehouse as well as your store should run on a FIFO concept. That is your first in, first out. Then also your complete store structure. So store will have, like I said, your entry, your exit, your cash counter. And since you are going to be dealing in a supermarket, I would like to highlight on one thing that the chances of theft are going to be definitely very high. Because when we talk about a supermarket, there are more than 10 to 15,000 SKUs that you are going to be dealing in. And the SKUs, the size of the SKUs are so small that typically the chances of theft are also very, very high. Also, when you talk about the, so when you talk about the layout of a supermarket at the front end, if you're coming up with a store, security has to be kept in mind, and that has to be one of the priority points when it comes to the supermarket. And when it comes to high security, it also includes your security systems, your CCTV cameras, and the rest of the security, anti-theft products that are already available. So your layout will also define the time spent by the customer in his entire journey in the store. And also your layout would define the turnaround time of the orders. So when you talk about these online orders, the complete turnaround time would be dependent on the type of layout that you have. So layout is an extremely important step, and do get it designed and defined only from experts. A lot of people try to define it themselves, and then they realize this is not correct, this has to be done that way, and then you'll have to rework a lot in terms of going around. So layout is the step. Yeah, that's the 5th step, and we move on to the 6th step, and that is your IT integration. I need not talk much about it because we have Genesis here to discuss about this in detail. But to just give you a brief idea, what we do is, what you should do is, when you have a complete vision set in your mind of how to go forward, it's important to also define at which stage of your business are you going to start online. If you are an offline store, or if you're an online store, are you ever going to start offline? So please do define that. You need to also define that, how the entire expansion for the next 3 years that you have planned, because based on that, you need to choose the right IT infra. IT infra in terms of your hardware, as well as your software, as well as other mobile applications, your e-commerce websites, and a lot of other things. They need to be replanned, and you have to be very sure of how you're going to go forward in terms of the channels of sales, because that's where it will help you in defining what has to be done at this point in time. And I'm sure, not to talk much, like I said, Genesis will help you and go into much details when it comes to the complete IT integration part. And lastly, the SOP trainings. So again, a lot of our clients come to us that एक बार तो training कर दी, अभी कितनी बार train करने का, लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता है. You know, a lot of people come to us and tell us that. But if you talk about people, you have to train them day in, day out. A training program based on your products, based on communication, based on soft skills, based on your team building, your negotiation, your customer service. This needs to be planned on a recurring basis, at least once in a month, if not more. And let's not assume that, you know, if we train them once and they are going to be performing. That's never the case. In every store that you see today, if you talk even about DMart or Big Bazaar, these trainings are a continuous process. And it is inevitable. And like I said, your only USP is going to be your service. And you know, you can give the best of the service only when you have the best of the team working for you, be it offline or online. In both the cases, the training is equally important. Your online, it will, of course, you know, your customer service, the way they talk, the way they, you know, the way they help customers in solving their problems, it's going to be definitely affecting the brand image. So your trainings have to be a continuous process. Now, again, like, you know, training, like I said, training them once would never ever help. Similarly, to ensure that they're following all of these things correctly, your recurring audits are something which are going to definitely be helpful for you guys. So once you define the complete SOPs, you define the complete business model of how to go forward, the product category of how to place them, the entire planogram. Once everything is well defined, you need to audit it. Only then the entire process would be successful. Audit in the sense, checking whether all of these steps are being followed at all the levels or not. And this audit can happen internally and as well as externally, but this is again a very, very important step. SOP audits. Now I will try to just go through each and every step once again. So it starts, like I said, with the business model, where you develop the complete financial model. Then we move on to the product category, where we define each and every category and subcategory of products that we are going to keep, which will have your, so if you talk about grains, which are the type of grains that you're planning to keep. If you talk about pulses, which are the type of pulses that you're planning to keep, biscuits, all the categories that you can think of. Then your organization structure. So how many people would be required, and the processes for every department, the complete layout planning, the IT part of it, and the SOP trainings. I would also like to, throw light on one more aspect, which is generally asked by most of the retailers to us, that, you know, how DMart is so successful, how are they making so much money, you know, how come, you know, Big Bazaar is not doing so good. So, you know, I would just like to throw on some important points that you have to follow while you're developing your own supermarket, and that is your complete inventory management. When we talk about DMart, they are excellent at inventory management. They are excellent at the complete stock turnaround ratio. So when we talk about stock turnaround ratio, it is the complete ordering cycle and the complete payment cycle. So if you talk about vendor payments, they pay their vendors in a week's time. That is a 7-day cycle. Whereas in this business, your vendors can easily give you a credit of 30 to 45 days. And if you're DMart, you can probably pull on to 90 days or 120 days also. But, you know, DMart has a strategy of paying off their vendors in 7 days. DMart has a wonderful inventory management strategy. They have internal group audit systems. So, you know, if you talk about the margins, yes, the margins are overall less in the entire industry. But when we talk about the volumes are huge because they have a lot of stores now. And the most important aspect, of course, their stores are all owned. So rental is not one of the portions. I mean, of course, that is considered as a part of the business model, but that's not a sword hanging on their head that if they don't break even in 1 year, or if it's extended, like a situation like COVID turns up, they are not there's no sword hanging on their head. So that's how it works. And apart from this, all the questions that you would be having, you can put in the Q&A session. We will take it up after we complete this session. And now I'm sure you'll be more than excited to know more about how you're going to manage the inventories, how you're going to manage the customer data, the loyalty schemes, and a lot of other things. Over to you, Vyomika, to take this forward from here. And thank you very much.
So now we have Rohit Ketan from Genesis.
Yeah, hi, thank you, Vyomika, and thanks, Rupal, for that wonderful overview about how to start the supermarket. I'm sure everyone has got a good sense of the various steps involved. And for me, it was also enlightening to know that the first step is business model, which is, what kind of business you're going to run. Is it a supermarket? Is it a dark store? Is it an offline retail, online plus offline mixed model? Because now the options are many. Earlier, when we started, there was only one, which was to set up a neighborhood shop and then grow bigger. Now you can start with a hyper model. You can start with a only fruit and vegetable kind of shop. You can start with a premium kind of model located on various high streets. You can start with a purely online, niche e-commerce, and then later move into physical stores. So it's not a single model business anymore. It's a multi-model business, and different models require different ways of operation. The good news is that Genesis covers most of these models as well. And I'll just give you a brief about Genesis now. Hope you can, ask questions if you have any questions at the end of the session. So I'll just share my screen. Just if you can let me know, Vyomika, that you can see it or not. So I guess it's visible.
Yeah, we see it. Guys, let us know if you can see Rohit's screen.
It's visible, right?
It's visible to me, but I think someone from the attendees cannot see your screen. Anivesh, can you see the screen?
I think it's visible, Rohit. You can go ahead.
Okay. All right. So,
it's visible.
Yeah. So Genesis is the only software which is offering a complete ERP and POS. So it's a full front-end software, which is the billing software, checkout software, which is a point of sale, as long as along with the back office ERP to manage all your purchases and distribution as well, and accounting as well. And along with that, we are trying to make a great customer experience for all of our customers. And the reason we do that is because we believe anyway retail is complex, as Rupal already outlined, that it's a tough business in terms of the margins, but you are also trying to give a great customer experience, and our goal is the same, so that we also want to give you and in turn your customers a great experience for shopping at the store and for using our software in turn. So SOPs are a key part of the business. I think this much was made clear by Rupal. So we have a very simple mechanism that all the inventory SOPs, all the transaction related stuff can be very easily standardized and put into the software, so that there is no requirement to go about handling things manually. There is a very efficient process that can be followed right from purchase to point of sale for the entire business. And of course, ongoing support and developments are a key part of any software evaluation. And in case you're not thinking about those aspects when you are making your investment, I would request you to think again, because whenever you set up your store, you are setting it up for at least 5-6 years, and you want the software also to be running for that long without any major overhaul required. So just coming to the product structure, so we have a back office function which can run on cloud, Cloud is a very useful thing to go with now because there's a lot of management of IT required as with growing complexity in the IT systems. So there is a lot of IT management required, and not all supermarkets have a big IT team. So it's good to go with a cloud infrastructure rather than try to build up a full hardware server system and networking system, everything in-house. Because managing that infrastructure is also a big challenge. Then in the point of sale also we have two options. One is a desktop point of sale which is working offline, which is called Genesys, and then a Zoom point of sale which is online, which is or runs on cloud. So you can see that one of the only solutions to offer end-to-end cloud from back office to POS, and so that's the setup. So we have been working with around 600 plus customers over the last, almost since 2006. And we have been basically renowned for our software, which is from manufacturing to retail. Our offices in Gurgaon, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Mumbai, from which we are serving all of India and abroad. And we are an Oracle and Microsoft partner. So major segments that we cover are all various segments related to fashion, food, grocery, durables, consumer durables, and manufacturing to retail, wholesale, everything. But the key points for you to note is for supermarkets, it's a B2C channel is covered. If you're selling on e-commerce, if you're selling on your own e-commerce platform, if you're selling via B2B sales, all that is covered in the software. So some of the unique challenges in retail, first and foremost being, getting the reports. As you said, you cannot go and, when you have to make any decision, you cannot go and on your gut feel to decide what you're going to do. So you require the detailed reports, and which are pre-configured. Every time if you have to go and make a report, it becomes very challenging. So Genesys obviously comes with an inbuilt reporting engine. There's an inbuilt accounting management, financial management suite. So you can all your so large volume of transactions are generated in the point of sale. All of that can be auto posted into accounts, and you can get your reports about your P&L, store-wise P&L, your trial balance, everything in the single place without having to do a re-entry of all of your data in the accounting system. And believe me, this is a huge cost saving in terms of time and effort for even a small or mid-scale business if the accounting package is integrated with the software. Data and process scalability, obviously, as you grow, your data volumes will grow and you will have more and more changes in the business process. So the software should be able to accommodate various scenarios of business as you go along. And most large ERPs can do that. It should not be a challenge at all. And so Genesys obviously can do that as well. And we have proven that with a lot of large customers who have grown from 1 stores to 100, 200, 500 stores as well. Multitude of sales channels today. Everything is about online plus offline, and Genesys can obviously manage your stock across both the channels and track your sales performance as well. And customer loyalty is also a key point, which we are integrating into the software itself through our own module as well as through third party as well. So this is a very key point now. Earlier, it was not so important because supermarket was a very fast sale kind of business. But now people want to track who is shopping at their stores and what are they typically buying, and can they make some suggestions and can they give some good offers to those customers who are high volume buyers. So data security is definitely an important point because you are not sitting at the cash counter. You want all the data that is saved in the point of sale to come back to you in a very secure manner without having any tampering done to it. So Genesys is fully tested by all the audit firms. So there is no problem with the data security of the point of sale. And everything is role-based, access-based. So no changes in a bill can be made once it is saved. Retail as an industry is definitely facing a lot of disruptions, whether it is e-commerce, digital payments, whether it is social commerce. So all of those things are kind of taken care if you go with a software which is kind of always evolving. And that is one key point with Genesys is that we are looking at always updating our software for the latest changes. After studying the market, after giving enough thought to it, we look at all the options and we kind of try to build it as a standard offering in the software or a standard integration. So it makes it easy for you to deal with your disruptions as well. So these are some of the things that we are integrated. It comes with an integrated ecosystem. It's not a standalone software. So you have like for GST filing, it's integrated with EaseMy GST, for mobile payments through various UPI apps, for customer loyalty through Capillary and mLoyal, BI tools through Click, and various other things. Order management system is via Evenkilo and Unicommerce. So coming to e-commerce itself, so suppose you're starting your business, so what are you looking forward to? So suppose you want to start your business with e-commerce on online only kind of sales, then you would be looking at definitely creating an e-commerce app, an e-commerce website. And I've known various startups, they end up burning a lot of money in this initiative, and eventually there's still that app and or the website does not find enough uptake and is not robust enough. So what we have done is we have taken away all the complexity over there and we have made it very simple. So in a few days, probably a week's time, you can have your app, private label app, which runs on Android, iOS, everywhere. And it works. You can have your website, which is compatible with the app, and it's a very small setup fee. You can start selling online, and you don't need to invest a lot in technology build up team and e-commerce development team to get this started. Coming to dark stores, it's a very key concept now. Stores which don't have customer facing, which are not customer facing, but do fulfill any orders which come in from online. So in case you obviously go for e-commerce, then you may be going for dark stores or warehouse fulfillment. And Genesys is fully integrated from day one with all the e-commerce platforms, along with obviously our own e-commerce platform as well, and we can integrate with other e-commerce portals through APIs. So we have an order fulfillment option in Genesys where you can scan out the orders and make invoices against that. And if you're using our Cloud POS, obviously it makes it easy that you can be aware of the orders in the queue and fulfill it online because it's a Cloud POS, so it makes it easy to fetch the orders. So if you're just starting up, typically your first concern is about the checkout process. Depending on the space available, you want the checkout process to be, ideally in seconds. And Genesys definitely helps you because we have a multi-till kind of setup, and we can help you with reconciling your cache across all the tills. And so whether it is Genesys or Zwing, you have a very fast checkout process literally in seconds. And we have definitely run with multiple customers who have more than 1 or 2 lakh rupees of sale per counter per day. So it's not a big challenge to manage a huge volume of billing as well on any particular day. Then coming to the item master, which Rupal mentioned, was second most important point, that you need to categorize, define which product categories you're going to deal in. So our item master is flexible enough to accommodate various product categories, and you can support large catalogs. We have customers who have catalogs running in 1 crore plus. And obviously all the EN codes that are coming from the manufacturer, you can reuse those as well as create your own codes as well. And it will help you save time in terms of barcoding and do away with the requirement of barcoding. And any kind of promotions like happy hours, buy get, bill buster, all of that can be supported. Home delivery, getting digital acceptance of invoices, of payments, giving invoices on the mobile by SMS, all of that is easily possible in the point of sale. And tagging customers for loyalty points, giving them benefits for their various points which are accumulated, giving them shopping vouchers for shopping in the next bill, giving them gift vouchers so that they can redeem that in any store. All of that is possible through software. See, the main thing is you can come up with various schemes and promotions. Is that traceable in the software? That is the key requirement. So only if that is possible, you should go for it. If it is manual and if it requires a lot of manual intervention, then typically it should be avoided. And very key point is about managing your purchases. So Genesys has got a good purchase management system where you can create a PO, receive goods against the PO, put your margins. So for example, you're expecting 5% margin on a product. So you can put that in the system itself and make sure that you're getting that without having to do the GRN yourself. Because obviously the reason you are opening the supermarket is not to do all the transactions yourself, but to eventually move on to, you know, management of the business rather than managing of the transactions. So get actual input cost. So suppose you're manufacturing private label goods, so you can get your actual input goods, cost of goods for all the goods that you're making, whether it be repackaging or actually via processing. For example, you're running a bakery, so you are making some bakery items, or you're running, you know, or reprocessing mostly staples. So all of that you can get the finished goods cost and upload that in the system rather than having to calculate manually what is the profit every item. And obviously, as you grow up, you will be able to push your right inventory at the stores through our replenishment module. You will be able to manage all your stores. You don't need to connect to every store to run the updates. You can just click in a single central POS and you can get all the updates done in the store. And obviously, it comes with a very good reporting engine, which is the key point for taking any software. So you can manage all your analysis in a very detailed way and in a very visual way as well. So all the charts and graphs, everything is easily accessible in the system. So I'll stop here because there are a lot of other points also, but that's for more advanced scenarios. I think these are all the things that are required to kind of run the software. And I think, yeah, one more important, very important point is about the accounting system, where you need to kind of not re-enter any data. All of that is fully integrated right up to the GST filing as well. So that's it. I think what I want to say for customers was, businesses who are starting up into supermarket. There are more points as you grow up and as you grow bigger, there will be more requirements, but that is a bit more down the line. So I think we can stop over here and take on further questions from the audience.
Thank you guys for the webinar. I'm pretty sure we have all benefited from this. But okay, so we have few questions. First question would be, how can we make our SOP more strong?
Yeah, I'll take up the question. So this is by Anivesh. Anivesh, so when you talk about SOPs, generally it's not like one fits all. You need to define these SOPs as per your store. You know, some stores have high walk-ins, some store have lower walk-ins, some size, some are G+2, G+1, some are like smaller stores. Some have, you know, store manager, floor manager, and then the entire staff. Some have directly store manager and the staff. So the complete hierarchy structure, the processes, the way it is done, they're completely different. So it's not going to be readily available anywhere. You will have to define a structured SOP for yourself. So you will have to customize it as per your requirement. And when it comes to more strong, you will have to understand each and every step that are involved in performing a particular task and try to jot them down and try to, you know, link them with the profiles of the existing people who are going to be working there. So that's the only way how you can make your SOP strong. Technically, we are SOP consultants and we take around 2 to 2.5 months to develop SOPs for the store. So it is going to take that much time. So be prepared and be patient for that long.
Yeah, and one key point which you mentioned at the end, like continuous training, right? So training and retraining is the key point of reinforcing the SOP.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we move on to the next question. Yes.
So the next question is, what's the right time to apply for licenses, FSSAI and others?
Okay. So the right time to apply for licenses, of course, just before starting the store. And when it comes to supermarket, you do not need an FSSAI. you only, I mean, you typically require the Shop Establishments Act. FSSAI is required when you want to start an F&B outlet, or you want to start a coffee shop or something within your store. So it's only Shop Establishment Act. I think that also depends state wise. So, you know, each state has a different turnaround time for that. In Maharashtra, we get it within a week's time, or even lesser rather. So it's just before starting of the store.
Great.
So the next question is, any presets of KPIs or KPAs for Indian grocery supermarkets for all departments?
Again, the same thing, like I answered my first question, Mr. Raghunandan, it's not going to be one will fit all. This has to be defined very, very specifically for your own store. So the KPIs for probably the store manager of your store are going to be different from the one that I have at my store. So they have to be customized. There is no such standard available anywhere.
Yeah, but typical ones which are definitely very important are sales per square feet and you know,
Stock turnover ratio, sales
yeah.
per square feet. But those are like the macro ones.
Correct.
But when it comes to the detailed KPIs, I'm sure you'll have to develop them.
So now the next question is, if we go for an app, how do we ensure continuous support for all app users?
Would you like to take it up, or should I, Rohit?
I can take it up. So typically, you can do it two ways. You can have an in-house support team, customer service or team, or you can outsource customer support to a third party after obviously establishing the SOP, giving them the right training, giving them the right scripts, how to handle it. So you can outsource this aspect to a third party. There are many available now who can handle a customer support channel online, which is coming through the app or through a call center. They obviously need access to your backend to be able to, you know, process stuck orders or to see the status of any order and help your customers deal with you know, unforeseen situations, unfortunate situations. So you know, you have to define the SOP again in detail for those kind of scenarios.
Yeah, it's going to be customer service department. So it has to be a CSD, a separate department at your backend.
Okay, so another question is very interesting, that what is the effect of entry of giants like Jio, Amazon on local supermarkets, and how do we tackle them?
Interesting. Mr. Srinivas, these bigger giants give you also the opportunity to be a part of their journey. If you talk about Jio ties up with all the local supermarkets, and you know, local supermarkets like you and us have to deliver. Jio does not come and deliver per se. The same with Amazon, where we have Amazon Pantry. The same with Grofers and a lot of different aggregators. And you basically do not have to compete with these giants. You have to, you know, live with them and grow with them. So there is no chance that we are going to be able to compete or tackle with these giants. But I think we can grow together with them. Rohit, would you like to add anything?
No, I think the answer is perfect. So there's nothing much more to add.
Next questions are about the costs and costs of the models that we're providing. So I guess that you should individually contact to YRC and Genesis. Yeah, I guess that is all. We have one more question. Okay, how to get tie-up with JioMart that we can deliver to the customers in their supermarket?
Sorry, I cannot hear you properly.
Yeah, we cannot hear you, Mamika.
How to get tie-up with JioMart that we can deliver to our customers by our supermarket. So basically, I think they're talking about the tie-ups.
Okay, so JioMart has right now opened up their tie-ups for Mumbai and Thane location. For the other locations, you should be in touch with, you know, one of their websites. Basically, they will have all their updates coming up on their websites, that when are they opening up other regions or other cities. Right now, they have not opened up any other city. They are still building up their entire backend infrastructure. They have just opened up Mumbai and Thane. Mr. Khaja, yeah.
manage inventory visibility to online customers?
Again, we cannot hear you, Vyomika.
That's all. How to manage inventory visibility to online customers?
That,
Rohit, yeah.
yeah, I can answer that. So basically, it's a straightforward process. It happens through an API sync to the website. So your any updates that are happening in the store software or in the warehouse software, that is pushed into the website as well. So your online customer will always see the close to real-time stock picture. Obviously, it is factored in that it is suggested that you put in a safety factor of at least 1 or 2 pieces so that you don't, make mistakes. So you should, but the process itself is very well defined, so there is no problem.
So we have another question. How to identify the correct software for the store?
Well, as I mentioned, the critical factors is the support, after sales support, the breadth of the software. Because as you grow, you don't need to keep changing your software. It's about will it be able to support for you for the long term as your requirements evolve, and whether you will be able to, and whether the software is obviously fast enough for your store operations. So I think these are the key points, and every individual business will have their own points to add on, but these are I think the key points.
Right.
Still, do we need FSS AI for e-packing?
Repacking, yeah.
So, Yasin, if you are going to be packaging the grains, maybe the pulses, the dals, and dry fruits, and these products, these you are going to buy in bulk and just repackage them. You do not require any FSSAI. FSSAI is required only when you're processing the goods. So from the powdered coffee, if you're selling a cold coffee or a hot coffee, that's where you would be requiring FSSAI.
Great. And there was another question like, can Genesis help with inventory sync from their e-commerce site? So I guess I already answered yes.
I have there's one more question. I have stores in rural area, so they have issue in internet. So I am getting proper report. Is Genesis help us?
Vyomika, can you hold the mic close to your? We
Sorry,
are not able to hear.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sorry. So I have stores in rural area, so they have issues in internet. So I'm getting proper report. Can Genesis help for this to get a proper report?
Yeah. So you can schedule a report and get the report on your email from the system. You don't need to connect to the store to get the data.
Okay. And about the costings, I think you can individually connect.
This is different. This I think he's asking about the cost of the goods. So
okay, cost of the goods. Okay. So okay. So if you're talking about cost of goods, if you see, there are two types of products that you would be having. One is your packaged products and one are the loose products. Packaged products already have an MRP on them. And if you want, you can give offers or discounts. If you've received those from your distributors, you can pass it on to the customers. So again, the rates are very well defined there. And when you talk about loose products, those rates have to be defined based on the locality where you're staying. You should have a competitor research done. So if you are selling a variety of rice, which is called probably kolam, and if your competitor is selling at maybe 75 rupees, you cannot sell it at 90 rupees. Or you cannot sell it as 60 rupees. So you need to match it up with the competitor in and around you for the loose products or repackaged products.
Okay. Next question is how to find get suppliers in local or regional places.
Again, the same thing for all the branded products. You will easily find the suppliers listed also on their website. Or it's a very organized market, frankly speaking. You will have all the dealers and distributors list available on each and every, brand. So if you're talking about HUL, that is your Hindustan Unilever, you have your Parle-G, your Nestle, all these distributors and dealers are very well listed along with their regions. local, you need to find it by yourself. It can be, procured from local farmers to the local market, the wholesale market. Depends on how you want to go forward.
Yeah.
So there's just one more question. Wait, I think you'll have to answer this. This is about the cost of software for many supermarkets.
Pricing is
Including app-based
anyway
things.
mentioned on the website, but you can get in touch with the sales team. I think that's fine. Our pricing is anyway pushed on the website.
Okay. So
And,
what's just
I think we have answered, or there is anything else?
I think someone wanted the PPTs of
We can't
what we
hear
were
you.
present. Sorry. Someone was asking for the PPTs that we were sharing right now. So
Yeah,
is there a
that
way
we
that
can-
we can
That anyway, the recorded webinar will be there. So it's okay.
got it? All right. I think that should be it.
Yeah.
That is all. That was all the questions. And thank you everybody for joining us today. And if you hold any other such webinars, we'll absolutely let you know. And thank you the panelists, Dr. Rupal and Rohit. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, Vyomika. And thank you all the attendees for being a wonderful audience.
Thank you, Rupal. Thank you, Vyomika. Thanks, everyone. Nice to have you here. I look forward